Okay, let's set up HealBot from absolutely nothing. So you probably just get addon, you load it first time, only thing you can see is this gray blob. It's not really interesting and I hate that visual, but let's click on options and let's start setting it. So from the general, I like to just immediately hide option button. I want to heal from addon, I don't want to see options. And when you want options, this automatic button next to your minimap, or you can write command into jet. You can also hide the button, just write the command, it's up to you. I like button on the minimap. So let's check every setting one by one, so what is important and what I like to tweak. So let's skip overrides and very important stuff. You immediately need to go here, because without that it's not really working. Go to the spells and start setting up. This is how addon works. So here's my name, and you want to heal by clicking on somebody's name or somebody's frame. When I click, left click is set up for regrowth. So I don't like regrowth, I want rejuvenation on the left. You can just copy, I cast rejuvenation, is there immediately. For right button, now I write regrowth. If you don't want to write, maybe you are new in the game and you don't really name new names, or you are bad with the English, it's very simple. Go to spell selector, go to healing spells, and it's immediately first, you find regrowth. Set it, it's the right button. So left button is rejuvenation, right button is regrowth, and for example middle I write wild growth, and middle is cast of wild growth. And here's the modifiers. So this is like normal click with the mouse button, but when you hold the shift, you can do more means. So for example, for shift, right click, I like to put some defensive ability on someone. So my defensive ability is Barskin. Oh, sorry, that's for me. Iron Bark is for other people. So let's see, find it. It's other spell because it's not healing. Healings are here, others are like super spell for others or dispels, buffs, things like that. So let's find it. It's called Iron Bark. Select. Now when I'm holding shift and click right button, it's defensive. Without shift, it's regrowth, like before. So you can just play, you can use everything, so you need to hold shift, Ctrl and alt to use something. That's quite hardcore. If you want it, just use it. So let's go next. There's a lot of fun with tweaking of skins, because as healer it's important to see who is dying, who has debuff, who you need to help, because you are support. So you really need to know what is happening with your people in your team or raid, wherever you are. Well, let's use the default skin, just leave it on standard, and let's see what is here. Effect, it's quite alright, just don't mess with it. If you want, you can try. But here's the first step up, so you can start using this addon. With enemy, also I don't using healing addon for enemy, because it's healing addon, so I use it for heals. From the chat, I definitely prefer no messages, but if you want to send whispers, you are harassing somebody or something, just do it. It's usually not important. And what is quite important, is quite nice when you're starting with game. Click it after combat burns when you're out of mana. When you're playing with some new people as tank, they usually don't check how is your healer doing, so they don't know how much you have mana, and maybe you are out, or maybe even you don't know how much mana you are left. So if you have a problem with mana, just check it. Tank should see it, stop it, let you drink, and you can continue happily and safely. So from frames, we have a lot of settings. This one we will tweak with that a little bit later, when we will setting big frame for the raid. But for now, let's keep it. Let's go to heal group. It's basically what you see. Let's start test for party. So this is actually what you see when the target exists. Oh, test is just down here. It's very good to just see everything working. And I don't really like vehicles. Absolutely don't care. Pets, don't care about it now. It's sometimes is important, but usually it's not. And I like leaving target and focus something down here, because when you are healing some NPC or something, it's nice to see there. But in some mechanics like raids, you need to heal some boss to get switch some phase, whatever. If you don't need it, you can just turn it off. It's depend what you are doing. So this is up to you. You want to see extra frames, leave just raid open. Raiding group is not really different, but if you want to have it separately, you can use it, but raid and group will be the same. It's all you need, basically. And from headers, it means this little name on the top. Usually what you want to tweak is font size. I'm not using headers, I don't like it. But if you want to see what is happening around, just play a little with this. You can play in with the color. More shiny, yay! Or opacity. If you want. I will just leave it off, but for this tutorial, let's leave it on. So what I'm playing the most are the bars. Let's pump it. I want to see what is important, especially with the druid. Oh, get to the place. Especially with the druid, I like big, fancy bars, because you have a lot of buffs to check off. Almost everything on druid is healing over time, it's not immediately, so it's very good to see what is happening everywhere. And I'm using a little bit bigger for a group, because when you're healing just 5 people, not 20 people like in raid, or even more, it's quite important who has which dot you are healing on. When you are in raid, just place your healer everywhere, because you don't need to heal so many people, you can actually focus some special. Of course, tanks, you can focus 2 tanks, you should. So let's set up this for dungeon now. So I like it a little bit bigger. What is really important? No health bar. You just switch here for colors and go the health. Class health bar with mix is okay. It's not just class color like here, but you want to see how is everybody doing by health, because that's your primary focus. And you can still see classes by these colors of text. So this is Warlock, this is Death Knight, this is Druid. You can see it. You don't need whole health bar to be different color. When you have 20 people in the raid, it's much easier to spot who is dropping down, because you can see color is going orange and it's going red. You don't care if the Warlock is dying or Death Knight is dying. You don't have time for that, you need to heal immediately, so you need to spot it immediately and use the heal as soon as possible. That's what you usually should do, of course, blah blah blah, but that is what usually healing is about. So yeah, make this course nicely and healthy. Other things, sort, it's quite important. So the first sort is group, leave it, it's nice, and then it's nicely stacking for raid. But subsort, I don't like name, it's quite unnecessary, role is much better. So when you have mythic group or dungeon group, the first one will be tank, second one will be healer, and third one, fourth one, and fifth one is damager. If you are a tank, you are the first, but you can is also default, you are first. So in your whole group, you are always the first. So if you are DPS, you have yourself, then tank, then healer, and 2 DPS, but it's HealBot, so usually you are a healer, so you will be here. If you don't want to be first one will be tank, you will be second. But it's nice to be first, right? You need to take care of yourself so you will survive, then others need to survive because you are alive, you know, you will heal them, so be alive. Visibility, I just like to tweak on 100, it doesn't really matter. And on the bar text, let's switch test off, because these names are not actually names. I want to see my name. Ah, here I am. So back to bar text, and start with the name. I like pump size, so you can actually see who I am. And alignment to the left. I'm doing same thing with the health. Number up, and to the left. It cannot be independent because I pump off size, so it's overlapping. Just put it below name. It's below on the left because name is aligned to the left. Why I'm putting on the left? Because I want to see buffs on the right side. So when is everything stacking there, I just want to see what is there. So when you have a name, then you cannot see name. And when somebody is in raid calling, oh, dispel that one. Who is that? I just see my dots. So yeah, I'm putting on the left, so we can have some your stuff on the right, and we are not bothering with anything there. And but also what is nice to set up here, and that's quite what I want from bar text. Next one is icons. So from icons, let's start with the buffs because we can actually see it. I cannot debuff myself, maybe I can, oh definitely I can, with some toys or something. What I like to make immediately to the text. You can see cooldown, and it's so small. Make it bigger. 16, amazing. Now I can actually see when is this ending, changing color. This is like a warning, so when it's just 3 seconds, change color, reapply your buff. And I like duration from 19, not actually 10, just my preference. And I usually recommend to do everything with the debuffs same. So where is the, I need to change the text, and font size I had 16, because you also want to know, do I need to dispel it? Oh, you just 2 seconds, then it's gone. Okay, I will leave it. Oh, it's still 15 seconds. Oh, yeah, I will dispel that. So that's why I also like the 19. I usually don't care, 99 is just too much, but 19 is a reasonable time. You can see it's coming too close, and anything like that, don't care, but like 15 is still not that much, so I like to see duration 15. From other things, you can just skip it for now, and want to play with it, definitely go for it. And we get to debuff. So this is like basic settings for dispelling debuff, and you just choose your spell. Our spell is Nature's Cure. Check it on raid because we have raid and group the same thing, so yeah. Just on raid mean everybody. And now you will be shown, HealBot automatically will be showing you debuffs you can dispel. So Nature's Cure, remove all magic, curses and poison effects. In that case, when your target, your friend, your ally have some debuff that is magic, poison and curse, you will see it. Because when you cannot dispel it, you don't need to see it. It's nice, but you don't need to. So this is doing quite automatic. If it's something bad happening, you can just check it here. And it should be automatic, but if it's not showing, something is buggy, just check what is you are dispelling. You have dispelling all magic, all curse, all poison. We just forced it. Everything that is poison will be showing here by that. And it's same for the buffs, but let's check out this. You can add new one. For example, when you have new expansion like right now, you can miss some spells when you're adding. HealBot is quite good by adding everything by default, and so you don't really need to care about that. But in some other add-ons, I'm very used to adding new spells and new abilities, and maybe we need here too. So I like to put it there. From new dungeon, I didn't see it in add-on. There is Frog, and there is new ability there. It's Gulps for Toxin. What is special there? When you have 10 stacks, you are immediately dead. So yeah, you want to dispel before 10 stacks, or at least it's nice to see it when you cannot dispel, but you need to tell your friend on Discord, you have 8 stacks, you should start running, because next to hit or from the frog you will just die, because it's instant dead when you have 10 application. So let's add it. Category, it doesn't matter, you can have everything in a single one, but if you want to organize it because you want to add a lot of stuff, you just go to put it on correct letter. This is G. Let's write the name. Save it. And there you can actually say special color for that. I don't know. This is good. So now it will be shown. But I cannot show you now because I need to be next to that frog. So boss can speed on me. Their poison or the little frogs. So here's from debuffs, from boss. This is very useful. We have new buff on Druid, this DLC, or returning buff. It's Mark of the Wild, and you want to keep it on your group. So it's our special color, you can leave it, because this color is not in combat. When you are in combat, everything is alright. This is out of combat, so it's not bothering you in combat. In combat you can heal. After that, you can see it when somebody died. And click the buff, I have buff, not shiny. So we can see, because usually people just forget. I'm forgetting too, so it's really nice. And from custom buffs, usually I'm not putting here what is not showing, but I will, because one ability I seen is not showing. It's Adaptive Swarm on the Druid. So we'll just add it. And I like to add it as Druid buff because we are Druid, right? So Adaptive Swarm. Let's save it. And let's try to use it. Bam. And it's now showing. Because before that, if I disable this, what I just added, you cannot see it now. And it's quite important to see, you know, oh, your group have 4 adaptive swords, just charge it. So when you pull back, you're doing nice damage. It's not like it, but, you know. I like to see that spell because it's fun to just watch what is happening with it. And sometimes you don't want to see something like on Druid to have just clear vision because you need to focus on some spells. You want to have Life Bloom on tank, you want to have Rejuvenation on tank. You can see if you have protection on something and you don't really care some small heals. And of small heals I mean these efflorescence. Oh, sorry. The ability is efflorescence, but the actual healing over time is Spring Blossom, the actual buff. And look at the heal. I'm not 70 yet, so it's even smaller, but it's not really important. It's not useless, but you want to see other important stuff. So I like to just turn it off. So we have one Druid, so this everything should be Druid spells. And it's right here, right? I forgot. Spring Blossom. Spring Blossom, you can just delete it, but maybe you want to use it later. Just disable. Don't click it just once. You need to click it twice because now you disable it just for this area. You are not fighting in Capital City, you don't care. You want to disable in all areas. So make sure it's all zones disabled. And now you can stand there. Buff is here. It's not showing down here. I can focus on other spells and abilities. And from the test, just check when everything is alright. It's nice. And that's basically your setup for dungeon. Just hop in, start healing. Let's now tweak bars a little bit to make it ready for raid. So for the raid, I need everything smaller because a lot of people are there. Like when I did start raid 40, ay. Not nice. Your skin is full. Of course, it's usually like 20 does, let's say 25. So it's really nice to split it. So this is your standard setting. Nice. And now let's create something new. My new raid scheme. Just to differentiate. I don't really like default scheme there. I think it's easier just to tweak your what you actually set up and just tweak it for raid. Let me save it. So I can go back to my for group, but let's do my new raid skin and let's check what we can do with that. So I'm going immediately for the frames and I want to tweak general of the bars. I want to see only one group next to each other. As you want, my preference. And some people are putting these healing addons on the left, so it's literally better to have one group. Here, second here, and etc. But I like it on the right, so we can go to frames general. And bars anchored is not top right, it's top left. Now it's just rotated the opposite. So you don't have a fifth frame because usually I'm raiding mythic, so it's only 20%, so I always set up my bars for 20. It's up to you. And I like it a little bit smaller for raid, so it's not like quarter of a stream. So let's get back to bars. Just tweak it a little bit smaller, and you don't actually want to see that much details there. You have a lot of people to care of. And the first one will definitely healers and tanks. If you want, you can definitely say go back to heal groups and start like main tanks. And you will get one more column here. And you can also allow duplicates, so the tanks are here and also there are somewhere there. If you don't allow duplicates, they are just pick up and only place their location is here if you want to focus on tanks. I usually just see who is tank, and by I'm seeing that there should be icons, extras, and I like to see who there are. Show class, and it don't care about class, but that is showing only when you are alone. When you are a group, usually you have set role. So these all damages because these are stats test, but you can see who is stun, who is heal, so it's immediately like clear for you who you should focus, and I like to be a little bit smaller. It's just your preference, as you'd like. So a little bit shorter bars too, so it's squeezed. Yeah. And it's working everything like you set up. And now we can freely switch from that. And that when you are party. I need to move it a little. So it's party, everything is set up. Then we'll go to general, heal skin, my new raid skin, and back to the test. Raid and 25 to none. Let's do one more tweak, because I noticed a little bit annoying. Back to the bars, general, and also frame archer top left, because we are doing from top left anyway, because we are on the right side. And now when I'm changing this from raid and standard on standard for this group, and this is of course ugly because it's not set up for raid, it's in the same position, because otherwise it was going from other side, so it was jumping a little bit. So yeah, I hope you will find this useful. Thank you for watching, and wish you good night, good day, good morning, anything.